What's happening, everyone? It's Joe Revita from Empire Music in Pittsburgh. I'm here with a new product from Martin for 2019, the new OM-28 Modern Deluxe. This is a really special guitar. It takes all the great history of Martin guitars, their sonic abilities and a lot of their design structure, and gives an upgraded, elevated look to it and tone to it. The OM-28 features a Sitka spruce top and East Indian rosewood back and sides, the stock model, and this does as well. What they've done in the Modern Deluxe is they've given us some structural changes, some cosmetic changes that I'm going to highlight throughout that lead to really interestingly, it's like even though it's a modern guitar, it's really aiming to give us the best historical sound, those heritage guitars that we love, in a modern feel, fit, and finish. So they've taken the Sitka spruce top and they've made it VTS, which is Vintage Tone System per Martin, and that basically is a torrefaction that reduces moisture in the top of the guitar and gives it a more vintage tone. The reason we love old guitars is because they sound old. They've been played in, the moisture content has been reduced, and it gives us more overtone, more volume, more headroom, more dynamics. And you'll find that now, but we don't have to worry about the neck being crazy or all the other problems you have with vintage guitars. We are able to get it on a newly designed guitar, which Martin makes their most consistent guitars ever right now. They're really, really spectacular instruments. So we have the VTS top. Then what we've done is they've upgraded it with Adirondack bracing inside. It's scalloped. That's also VTS. So we have the same vintage tone system on the bracing. Adirondack is way more expressive, more volume, more ability to emote at different levels, and definitely provides more headroom, which is always important in an orchestra model. So we're not limited to playing light. We can play with a heavier attack on this guitar and get something out of it. So you'll be able to hear that. We went with the titanium truss rod. In this model, titanium truss rod is almost 2/3 lighter. It's 64% lighter, and it's immediately noticeable as you grab the instrument out of the case or off the rack. Man, you feel that it's definitely lighter, which is nice. We all want a lighter guitar. We went with Liquidmetal bridge pins, which give us more volume and they don't wear. And then underneath the bridge plate is now carbon fiber, and that allows for a reduction in weight, so it's lighter. It gives us way more volume, which is awesome. And for those of us that have had guitars for a long time, when you are playing this guitar for a long time, the bridge plate that is underneath the bridge is typically wood. The ball end of the string will wear against that and eventually wear it away. So it creates some stability issues with the string. It needs to be replaced. That'll never happen with the carbon fiber, which is really cool. So let's hear this thing. I think what's really cool about an orchestra model is, it's not as big as a dreadnought, but it's not super small either, so we can play a lot of different styles with it. We're going to notice that we're going to get bigger tone out of this guitar across the board than a stock model. So let's do it. We'll do some fingerstyle stuff through some light picking, and then through some strumming. So let's start off. Right away, when I'm playing the guitar, I feel the guitar vibrating against my body, which is always a sound the feel I'm looking for, because you feel the sound coming out of the guitar. That's a trait that I'm always looking for in high-end instruments. Is it moving? Is it braced well? Is the guitar creating a tone through pushing all that air? And this does really easily. And what I also really noticed is when we're in here just doing a lot of fullness. It's not as thin. It's got more roundness to the tone, more sustain. It's just like really just easily pushes out. But as you go smaller in guitars, you'll notice that the overhead isn't as big, and I find this to have way more overhead. So as we go lighter, really expressive, which is awesome. So it's really just a souped up OM-28, and the nice thing is it's not just a bunch of sizzle. They've really given us immense upgrades in construction and material that have allowed for the guitar just to sound way better and feel great. The truss rod that's titanium is also a little bit more adjustable. It's a little bit more accurate, which is cool because you can keep your guitar adjusted more properly. Then cosmetically, they also gave us some cool upgrades too because they want to make it look great. We have gold hardware now. They're Waverly open back tuners, so premium tuners. I'm going to flip this over so we can see the open back tuners, which is again vintage. A great juxtaposition of old with the new. The pearl inlay for the Martin logo, which looks great. Gold frets, which really look cool. And then we have maple binding on the rosewood models. So, you know, for the D28, the OM-28, the triple 28 Modern Deluxe models, we're gonna have wood binding instead of like an ivory or plastic binding. It looks great. Wood just looks nicer, and it creates this really good ability for the wood to pop. It just feels like the guitar is more defined with the maple binding. It looks amazing. So just big upgrades there. So again, with the Modern Deluxe OM-28, what you're gonna get is a new truss rod that's titanium. You're gonna get carbon fiber bridge plate, Liquidmetal bridge pins, a VTS Sitka spruce top, vintage tone system, boomier, richer, more overtones. And then they match that with VTS bracing that is scalloped and Adirondack. Adirondack, think of it as a trampoline. It's pushing our top. It's creating energy and momentum for the top to move. So we're gonna get way more tone with less work. So if we wanna play lightly, so for fingerstyle players and singer-songwriters, man, that sustain is just crazy. It makes me smile. It's just really, really impressive that the guitar responds that way. We have that ability because we have greater sustain and greater output that we can play with a light attack that we want out of an orchestra model. But then, like I said, we can step up the energy. It sounds almost like a dreadnought. It's massive, but you get the focus and the definition of the orchestra model. So a little bit smaller body. We're gonna get more balance. So this is the Martin OM-28 Modern Deluxe. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram for content. We're constantly pumping out reviews and content that we do. You can reach us directly at 412-343-5299 or on our site, empiremusiconline.com. Ask for myself, Todd, or Anthony. We're here, we're experts. We'll make sure if we ship it to you, it's professionally packed and inspected and set up before. It's set up to anybody's specifications. In-store, we'll take care of you here personally and make sure your in-store experience is amazing. We have a killer Martin showroom that's just beautiful. And you get the full factory lifetime warranty and hard case. So this is the Martin OM-28 Modern Deluxe here at Empire Music. Thanks for hanging out.